Finally tonight, not your ordinary science fair. Each year, the U.S. is short 1 million scientists and engineers, and so there's every attempt to make this work enticing. An example? What happened this weekend in Orlando. 15,000 teenagers from 270 high schools all across the country vying to prove that they can build a better robot. Here's ABC's Jack Smith.
It looks like a rock concert. Or maybe a sports championship. But this is actually a high school science competition.
It's fun. Dates.
This is how you get dates?
Yes.
Go!
The object is for competing robots to place as many balls as possible in a raised trough, then force their way onto a central ramp, and if possible, hook the bar and hang from it.
There's probably more cheerleaders here and pep squads than at the NCAA finals.
We're trying to get to the kids that never really thought about science and engineering as possible for them, particularly women and minorities.
And more than a third of the students here are women and minorities.
A lot of girls on our team really weren't looking into engineering or any mathematical fields. Now over half the team wants to go into some career in science.
Students have to raise their own money. Robots cost around $5,000, and they have just 6 weeks to build them.
They get to work with real engineers as opposed to the theory of it. They get to meet mentors, they get shown things. They get a whole learning experience that's in a fun environment.
This is what most American children need, adult presence, and they don't get it. So here they're getting it, definitely, attention from adults.
At the finals, one of the teams is captained by a senior from California, Kenny Vargas. That's him on the right. And his team wins. It's a special moment because Kenny, who's headed for college, just last year was in a street gang.
I never accomplished anything in my life. Nobody ever told me, I was good at anything. And then, I saw that I was good at something, and I saw that, I could be good in other areas if I just put all my effort towards it.
Lessons not only about technology, but also about life at this most unusual of high school competitions. Jack Smith, ABC News, Orlando, Florida.
And that is our report on World News Tonight.
Finally tonight, a bedtime story. Here's Beth Nissen.
Once upon a time in the urban kingdom of Brooklyn, there was a public school that decided to enter a robot competition. Even though the students had no robotics background, no workshop, no tools.
We didn't have a lathe, we didn't have a drill press, we didn't have a bandsaw. The only table saw we had I brought in. We didn't have the basic machine tools that you really need to build a decent robot.
The would-be robot makers, eventually 50 students would take part, held fundraisers, begged corporate sponsors, scrounged together the $5,000 competition entry fee, and got in exchange a robot starter kit of basic electronics.
They just opened the box, just dumped everything on the table, just spread it out, and it was like, what is all this?
And we were like, how are we going to make something out of this?
The students had 6 weeks to design and build a robot for the competition known as FIRST. This year's FIRST contest required robots that could fill moving goals with soccer balls, maneuver goals into scoring position, or do both.
We wanted to build a simple, efficient design. Basically, all it does is that it just latches onto the goal so we can maneuver it to wherever we need to.
They built their robot out of wood, reluctantly.
We all wanted metal, it was like metal. Yeah.
But metal was too expensive, and they didn't have the tools for cutting or drilling it.
Our mentor, Dench, he just told us stick with wood. Wood is stronger than metal in some cases.
Students borrowed tools from the school janitor, from teachers, parents, even this day from a CNN sound man. They turned a classroom into a makeshift shop, worked on the robot after school, on weekends, often late into the night.
We have free time lunch. Come straight to this room, start working on the robot.
Many of the students' families, friends, and peers in other schools doubted the rookie Brooklyn team could do it.
There were a lot of stereotypes thinking that since this was a minority school that we were going to do really badly and that we were going to be lazy. We probably wouldn't even complete the robot in time.
But they did, just in time for the regionals in Manhattan last month. They were amazed and unsettled when they saw the robots built by other schools with greater resources. Complex robots, multifunctional robots, sleek, expensive robots made of plexiglass and metal.
They were all like, oh God, look at all these. I said, the more pieces a machine has, the more there is to go wrong.
The team gamely put its plain red robot into play. They'd painted it red with leftover fire hydrant paint.
Skills Tech team from Brooklyn pushing the goal.
The game is far too complex to explain here in full, but trust us, the little plywood robot did well against the other, fancier robots.
And the Skills Tech team with a little red robot that could, moving across the field, moving into scoring position, 10 points.
Theirs were made out of metal, so their robot's a little slower than ours. And so we can grab the goal
way before they can.
Other robot teams scored more points, so the team from Science Skills High School wasn't expecting anything at the awards ceremony. Then the award for exceptional design was announced.
Congratulations to the defensive tank, judges dubbed the little red robot that could. Team number 435.
The team qualified for the national finals to be held this weekend at Epcot Center in Orlando, Florida. A storybook ending in itself for these teenagers, most of whom plan for college and careers in science and technology. Is there a moral to the story?
Looks can be deceiving.
Never underestimate the power of a rookie team.
Determination beats ability every time.
And that's the story, so far, of the little robot made with epoxied plywood, borrowed pliers, and a lot of heart. The little red robot that could. Beth Nissen, CNN, Brooklyn, New York.
And if that's not a story to give you hope, I don't know what will.
Some of these schools are in tough inner city environments where you wouldn't think kids would devote the kind of energy and effort that is required to build a world-class robot. Wow. This year we're going to give them about 150 pounds of stuff. They only have, there's 42 days before we got to ship this robot, and they work so fast. It is so exciting. The pressure is so high.
It's a compressor.
This is Jefferson High School in the East New York section of Brooklyn. The robotics team is led by Sean and his co-captain Damien. The first model also calls for adult mentors, engineers from sponsoring corporations. But that's not how it works in East New York. So Freddie Asana, local electrician, stepped up to the plate.
This is a very tough project. We got to get started. The clock's ticking.
And then there's Mr. Howell, physics teacher and robotics coach.
A lot of people thought we couldn't do it because we hadn't the resource to do it. It's not an easy surrounding to live in and do the kind of things that are required for this competition.
It's a very good neighborhood, lovely, good place to raise your child.
It is a good neighborhood, but the people make it seem bad.
I think it's a bad neighborhood.
I'm not sending my child to church. I had to send my child downstate.
When you hear stuff like that, you just motivate yourself to prove them wrong. It's like so incredible when you finally do.
Hopefully, maybe one of these kids from this neighborhood one day is going to go to NASA and bring back a piece of the rock to show people this is what we're about.
After 16 hours of teaching and coaching with work on his PhD still ahead, Mr. Howell insists on driving the kids home.
This is not 3 p.m. in the afternoon. This is 11 p.m. And as a matter of fact, it's later than that. It's been 11:30. All right, take it easy. All right.
Send me some home.
All right, take it easy. It's not an easy neighborhood. And I know that the expectations are not great here. But this project is giving the kids an opportunity to be engaged in something meaningful instead of going home and probably get involved in something that can be crime related. You know what they say? It's better to light the candle and to curse the darkness. This project is like lighting a candle for these kids.
The future of our students depends on their ability to survive in an ever-changing global culture. The once separate worlds of art and science are merging, and a new renaissance is here. Computer-aided design, digital imaging, 3D modeling, desktop publishing. In tomorrow's world, students will require a mastery of both the arts and sciences. Our future depends on it. Their future depends on FIRST. For inspiration and recognition of science and technology. What high school kid wouldn't want to attend basketball camp with living legends of the game? Well, FIRST aims to provide nothing less for its students. Only instead of basketball legends, FIRST introduces kids to the living legends of engineering.
These kids will now see these engineers and scientists the way they see Michael Jordan. They'll think, this is accessible, it's desirable, I want to be able to do this, and these are my heroes and I can do this.
The main reason why we're involved with it is to give some insight to the kids, allow them a chance to be able to see what engineering's all about, give them a vision which they would never ever have a chance to see if they weren't involved with a program like this.
This is just pure fun. Can't wait to get to next year's competition and the following one.
300 teams, 300 identical sets of parts, 20,000 kids, 6 weeks, 300 vastly unique robots. National Finals, Epcot Center. Want to know the best part about FIRST? These kids are learning.
Never thought that, we could be able to say we actually worked with engineers at such a young age.
I'm going into this field, so I already know I'm ahead of the game.
Leadership, time management, task sequencing, mechanics, physics, computers, engineering, teamwork. 1, 2, 3, out! That's FIRST. And the kids are having a blast. Some of the most prestigious organizations and corporations sponsor FIRST teams, providing engineers, a working facility, and an opportunity for students to learn what engineering is all about.
It's been a lot of fun. It was awesome when we got to go to Delphi and see what the engineers actually did in their jobs.
I get energized when I leave here. There's nothing better than leaving at 7:45 and seeing those kids actually look up to someone.
They treat you as an equal. You learn from them and they learn from you.
We got their ideas incorporated using engineering techniques, methods, some mechanics, and hopefully they learn some of that along the way.
Student fundraising, publicity, team logo design, website design, and student 3D computer animation complete the FIRST experience.
They can be tomorrow's astronautical engineers and any kind of engineer they want. And we got a great future.
The whole school gets involved.
It arrived in a box with what seems to me to be 1,000,000 pieces,
Your parts are these parts that we've never seen before, like the electric drill motors, things that lift a window, screws and wires and bits of plastic. Here's all the stuff.
The first thing that I thought about is this we can do too.
Students are involved in a number of things that they could never get in a classroom situation.
Not only do schools and sponsors benefit from FIRST, so does the entire community.
On behalf of Governor Engler and Senator Bullard and myself, we are very, very proud of the hot team from Milford. There you go, Dan.
Many of America's top engineering companies are investing time and manpower in FIRST.
The Xerox Creativity Award celebrates creative design.
Johnson & Johnson is very proud to support the U.S. FIRST.
When we look in your eyes, we see the future women and men who will lead America.
You look around here, I would almost guarantee you, just based on the laws of large numbers, one of these kids, I don't know which one, will win a Nobel Prize. One of these kids is going to cure some disease or invent some new technology or make the world a better place because of something that we started here.
All right, folks.
New, real wealth has to be created with thinking. So in that new economy, the things that happen in a FIRST team are very important.
Corporations and schools, engineers and students coming together through FIRST to celebrate the wonderful worlds of science and technology. Your future, their future, our future. FIRST.
First teams, you know our objective. Relish this experience. Go beyond the robots. Go beyond the victory. Demonstrate the power of cooperation.
The challenge of cooperation is much stiffer than the challenge of building a robot.
This is more than science. This is more than technology. First teams, celebrate our mission.
Mentorship, scholarship, partnership, leadership.
The challenge is before us. Our mission's clear.
Inspire others. Change your community. Change the culture. Change the future.
You'll see FIRST as part of the culture.
Visualize the honor of excellence. This is the Chairman's Award. Step up. Be a leader. Be recognized. The new FIRST Hall of Fame. You will inspire and further our goals.
Community impact, collaboration, cultural transformation. This is our legacy. This is our future. FIRST.
This is the only sport in which humans compete in the unlimited class.
Athletes of the unlimited class. Celebrate the experience. Which of you will be next?
Right now I'm in my home studio, and what you're seeing right here, this is the result of science and technology, right? I'm recording my new album, which will be in a store near you very soon, but that's beside the point. I'm recording my album right now, and I'm actually recording in my home studio with a system that's called Pro Tools. And what it is it's like, mine is like a 64-track studio all inside of a computer. This is my Pro Tools Pro Control here, right? So this is the thing. Because of this Pro Tools system, I'm able to record my entire album in my house, which means I get to play with my kids, and I get to see my wife, and I get to get nice food. So I need more science and technology. I need y'all to invent more stuff so I can stay home with my kids. Science and technology is cool, it's hip, and it's fun, and it makes you be able to stay home with your kids. So I need some more science and technology. Get to work.